Hello. Hello everyone. A little bit early at the moment, so welcome to Gnome Thursday. So if you're on and for me to know that you're on watching, just type in hello. And if you can share this as well with friends that might be interested, or groups that you may think might be interested in it. That'd be lovely. So how is everybody today? Anybody on? Anybody on? Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? Hi everyone. So this is the card I'm gonna do. Hi sir. Hi Sarah. That's the card I'm going to do and show you. It's really nice, really playful and colourful and really nice, and got a few little gnomes peeking their heads out of the sentiment as well. And then we also got a nice little inner part of the card as well, with his little gnome pointing his head out as well. Okay. So it's a bit of a cutie one. We're okay, sir, Sarah. Yes, I quite like it as well. It's a really nice card. So we will get on with this in a minute. I'm just checking the time, so it's almost 2 o'clock. So I'm a bit quiet at the moment. Who's on? Hiya Bev, how are you? So yeah, so it's 2 o'clock now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start saying what I'm using, and then we can go from there. So today I'm actually using a 2J's stamp, which is the gnomes, and they're actually called gnomes. And I've actually got another set of penguins as well, but I'm actually just going to use the gnomes today. And what I've done with the gnomes, I've actually mounted mine onto some old clarity handles or acrylic box that I had, just so I've got all 6 of them ready to go. But you can do one at a time on just one acrylic block. So that's the card. I'm also using some masking paper, but you could also use sticky post-it notes and then stamp your little image along the sticky side, and you can cut 2 or 3 of them out at the same time, which means you don't have to just have one masking. So you can use post-it notes. And then what I'm going to use, I'm using a teal piece of A4 card and a light teal. So this is one of the new colours we do in our pick and mix. And then I'm going to be using a sheet of 300-gram card for my base card. So that's 300 grams super smooth. And then I'm also going to be using a sheet of 200-gram super smooth, which is going to be for my stamping. So that's what we're going to be using today. Glad you like it, Sarah. It is a nice card. So let's get on with this card then, and hope you all enjoy it. So don't forget, if you do like it, you know, share the video, share the post, so other people can see it, and then we can continue on with this, with the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is score my 300-gram card to 15 centimeters. So this is just a standard tent card, an A5 tent card. Okay, so standard A5 tent card normally means that it's A4 folded in half, and it stands up and opens up like a tent. So that is my folding and scoring done. So I'm going to pop that to the side. And this is, I'm going to put this card by here in a minute, because I'm going to explain about the layers and why I'm cutting them to certain sizes. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in. And the first thing I'm going to cut is my light teal. Hi Carolyn, hope everybody's okay today. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece of this landscape to 14.5 centimeters by 20.5, and that's going to become my main first layer on the front. And then, because I'm also going to be doing the inside, I'm also going to cut this piece for inside as well. So out of the other piece that's left, I'm going to cut that while it's portrait at 14 by 20.5, and that's going to be the piece that'll fit inside. So I'm actually going to fit that inside the card there. Okay, and then I have my 200-gram Stampin' Super Smooth, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that in landscape into my trimmer and cut a piece to, on the inside I cut it to 13, so this is for the inside, so 13 by 19.5, which will be my matte layer for the inside on that bit. So I'll leave that inside for now until we come to using that. And then the piece for the front, which will actually be the piece for the gnomes to be stamped on, is actually going to be 19 by 13. So 13 while it's portrait by 90. So now I've got all my little pieces that I need that's cut. You can see that fits on there nicely. Okay. That's that piece. So that's the bit for the front for stamping my gnomes, and we're going to be die cutting that a little bit later. And then I'm going to take my dark teal colour card and cut a piece at that was 13, so the white was 13 for the front, so this teal is going to be 13.5 That was 19, so this will be 19 and a half. So it just has a nice little matten layer. So that has a nice little matten layer, and that's for this front piece here, which you can see on there. Okay. So let's continue building our card. And don't forget, if you can share the live, that'd be lovely. Don't forget, if you miss it today, you can watch it on YouTube. So we now have all our little bits that we need. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut these little pieces up the top here. Okay. So I'm going to take my white piece, and I'm going to take an oval die, and I'm just going to, so I know where my little centre marks is, these ones got little nicks in, and I'm going to place that, the little nicks on the die, just to the top part of that card there. Okay, and I'm going to tape that on so this stays there, and then I'm going to cut that. Okay, so we'll do that first. Just take that to my machine, put that through. And then that bit has just been cut off there. Okay, but don't throw this bit out, because we're actually going to be using that piece as well. And then what we do, so that's the die I've just used. Then I'm going to take the next die down in my set, okay, which is a little bit smaller. And I'm going to place my teal piece of card, the dark teal, just underneath, and layer it up as if it was actually going on there, but I'm not actually sticking it yet. And what I'm actually going to do is take that second die and place it in, and the center nicks on this die I'm lining up with the edge of the white, so that I know this is going to be exactly the right shape. Okay, and I'm going to tape that into place. Hi Donna, how are you? So I'm just cutting that through my ground caliber with my newly screwed handle that I've had to put back on after I break in. So now I have that piece there, and I've had that piece cut out of there. Okay, so now I've cut my second die, and I can give you the size of the first die if you want. It's 13 long by 10 centimeters, and I'm just coming down step by step in the dies. So that then becomes my little thing, and this could end up being a baby grow as well, so you know, easy to do. And then on the card, as you can see there, you can see the back colour that's going to be behind there, in between you and the next sentiment piece. So to do that, I need to take the next size die down, okay, from what I've cut there. So that's my third die there. So I'm going to take that now, and I'm actually going to place that onto the teal. So that's the bit that came out of there, because that's going to be, if I bring that over, that's going to be the die that's there. Okay, so this is going to be doing this piece here, this circle there. And to get that right, I just need to put the little notches that are on the die for the centre marks and just pop that on there. Me and Gavin are not too bad, we're okay. So I'm just going to cut that one. So then you get like a little collar that's come out of there, and you get this little circle there. So this then fits in line there, which gives you a nice little collar. So that's my third die. Hi Jenny, how are you? And then I have this piece of white that I need to cut to go into here. Okay. So I'm then going to do on that one, I'm just going to do my centre marks on there. I'm just going to cut that. So there's my little notch and my little notch there. So I'm just lining that up centred. Oh, I don't know why I'm freezing, Donna. It might be your internet. Your internet might be playing up. The internet might be playing up a little bit. Okay, so no problem. So I've just cut that down now, which has given me that. But if you look, it's actually in line with the top of that. So when I put this there, it's not actually going to be in line with the top of my white there. So it won't balance out. It looks as if it's higher, and I don't want that. I want it to have this little border all the way around that. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to take 1/2 centimetre off that flat edge there. Okay. And the way I do that is just bring my trimmer in. How much is that? That's 4 centimetres. So that's all I'm going to do is bring it into 3.5. There's my 3.5. And cut that little piece off. So I'm just literally taking 1/2 centimetre off. Okay, so that when I bring this in, I place this on my card. I can actually place this bit in the centre and it'll match. So the white line will go straight across. So that's how I come to do that bit. And some of these bits that have come off, you can keep them and you can make different things out of them. Nice little half border on the corners. But I'm just going to throw it. The trimmer I got is an X-cut one, Jenny, but we actually do one that's exactly the same, and that's the Crafter's Companion one, which is really, really nice actually, and I might have to invest in one of them for the work. Hi Judith. So yeah, so I've now done my base. This will go underneath that lot as well. And I've also got my pieces for inside. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do to the inside piece, the white, is take, so lots of people might have the odd punch there, or you can even take a die. I would take an oval die if I didn't have the punch, but I'm just going to take, it's a balloon punch that I've had for years. I'm just going to place it in and cut out the corner so I can have a gnome come in out of the corner there. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so that is now for the inside of the card, which will give me my gnome coming out from that hole and that, and then I can have a sentiment and a verse in there. So that's that piece. At the moment, Sue. Lovely clean desk at the moment, yes. So now what I'm going to do is continue to do the stamping of these little things here. Okay, and I'm going to start the gnomes off on here. But what I need to do is bring in this piece of card, and in fact I'll get a colour piece so that you can actually see it underneath there. So you can see what I'm doing. We'll get the piece. I don't think you can. Oh, you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. There we are. So you can see the white is on the cream. So the first thing I'm going to do is to start. So I'm using VersaFine, but you can use any dye-based ink pads. So I could use Memento, Tuxedo Black, or I could use the VersaFine. I'm just going to go with the VersaFine, but I could use Memento Black, so it's entirely up to you. As long as it's dye based, because I'm colouring with alcohol pens. So I'm going to place my ink pad there, and I'm going to start with one of my gnomes. Just going to tap the gnome onto there, and I'm going to start building sort of a scene of the gnomes. So I'm going to place him there. I'm not putting him away yet because I might want to add him in again. And then I'm going to start getting this one in got a nice big long hat. So you can see him there. Nice. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place him next to that one, but not completely touching him. So there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do then, I'm going to take my masks for these, and I've already pre-stamped my masks and I've cut them out. So this is off masket. So the masket has got a shiny side and a paper side, and you stamp your stamp onto it, and then you just cut around it on the black line, and then when you want to use the mask, you just take the paper off the acetate, and it's actually sticky on the back. So there's my little mask, and I can reuse it, and I'm just going to put it back onto my acetate once I've finished doing what I want to do. So I'm just lining up the feet and the arms until I can get my hat mask to go across like that. So there we are. So I've now placed my mask for that gnome over the top, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a gnome now to sit on his hat there as if he's balancing. Okay, so as you can see, I've sort of done a similar thing there actually. In fact, I've used the same two stamps. What coincidence. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, pick a stamp to go on there. Let's have a look. I think we'll put him standing on the hat there. So we'll put this little gnome standing on top of the hat, as if he's a balancing gnome. So I'm just going to line up the image with his feet on the hat. So there we are, so now he's standing on the hat. Okay, and then I'm going to leave the mask on that one, and I'm going to come along and stamp another one that's just sort of behind him. So I've just stamped over the mask. And while I got the mask there, as soon as I've stamped it, I do like to try and just wipe a little bit of that ink off. Make sure it's nice and dry. You don't have to, it'll just absorb into it. Yes, Andrea, it's repeated on YouTube and on our Facebook later, if you've missed the beginning. So I'm just going to continue stamping some of these gnomes. I might put the mask on this one. Like I said, I've got all the masks ready. That's that one. Okay, so you just mask them up if you want to stamp something that's behind it. And then I'm going to put this one with a nice long hat over on this corner here. So I'm just going to ink him up. So I'm stamping this on a 200-gram super smooth card. Or thick paper, whatever you want to call it. I call it card, but so I've stamped that one, and then I'm going to take the mask for that one. And if I roll the acetate piece off the stencil, then it keeps the stencil more flat. If I roll the mask off of the acetate, then the acetate tends to, or the mask tends to bow and buckle and go curvy, which is what I learnt yesterday. So don't forget to keep all your little plastic bits for the masks to one side so you don't lose them and throw them out. And then I'm going to stamp a couple more gnomes along this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I haven't done the little girl yet. So I say this one is a little girl because it looks like she's got her hair tied in bows, and she's the only one with little buttons as well, as if she's wearing a dress. That's why I call this one the little girl. And I'm going to put the little girl behind this one. There. I'm going to stamp her up again, and I'm going to put her behind this one as well. It'll be like twins. Okay, now I'm not going to want to stamp anything over this one, but I do want to stamp something behind this one as well, so I want to put the mask on this one here. So I'm just going to remove the acetate off the top of that. So literally the masks, you just peel the acetate off the back, and it'll keep your mask flatter. Just lining it up. Bit awkward to see, I know, at the moment, but it's fine. There we are. And then I'm going to stamp another one in here. So we've had, which one should we have in there again? Got so many gnomes to choose from. I've got two hats that are facing that way, so I need a hat that's facing that way. I think I'll put the one that's over here on there again. Yeah. So I'm just going to put them a little bit higher. So I'm putting at different heights as well. So some of them are down on the ground, some of them a little bit back, so they're standing behind each other and in front of each other. Hi Judith, how are you? Yes, a long time no see. And then I'm also going to put the mask on that one as well. okay, because I want to put one in the middle here, and to put one in the middle here I need to also mask this one. The mask is here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that mask off there and move it over there. Okay, and I'm going to stamp another one, and I think I'll put that one in there. Yeah. And then when I peel all the masks off, it means then that each one of these gnomes will either be behind or in front of another gnome. So the most difficult part is actually finding what bit of acetate fits what mask. Aha, that's one. That one's I haven't used. Right, take that one off. So that's 3, that's the one with the pointy hat. So that's that one. And also because it's plain acetate, it might be worth stamping on the acetate with one of your, with stays on once you peel the mask off, and then you can actually know which one is actually on it. That one is that one. So they are reusable, and the same as your post-its. If you use your post-it notes, then they're going to be reusable as well. That's that one. That one is that one. So I'm just replacing them back onto them, onto their carrying sheets. See, I'm just trying to put them on roughly because I can sort them out later. Don't want to be spending too long trying to put them on while we're doing this. So now you can see that that one is standing in front of that one's behind that one is behind that one but behind that one, and then he's in between, behind him but in front of him. So that's that. Okay, but also what I'm going to do is take a bit of the scrap 200 gram I had earlier, and in readiness for the 2 that's going to be peeping from inside the hole, from the sentiment, I'm actually going to just stamp a couple of them as well to cut out. So now I've got 2 there as well to cut out later. Okay, so I've now finished my stamping for that, so I will get on with showing how I'm going to colour them. And when you colour with your alcohol pens, I was going to be using my tri-blend pens today, but they are still in the shop, so I'm actually using my old Spectrum Noir pens, and we've actually got the new Illustrator ones in as well in individuals. So I'm actually going to just start colouring. So I've got a nice skin tone, which is pinks, PP1 and PP2, and these are for the nose and the arms. So with the nose I'm using the dark pink and just doing the top and the left hand side, and I'll show you them. Just show you that a bit closer up. And then with the light colour I'm just going to go go in that little space and just quickly over the dark pink I've just put in. And what that does, it actually blends the two colours together. So there's no lines, no harsh lines. It's a very pale colour, so you're not going to see that much. I'll just continue doing that on a couple of them. So I'm only going to colour these a few this side first, just to show you. And then on the arm, any of the hands that are coming out, just a little bit of pink on the left hand side of them. And then just go in with a light one and just blend them out a bit as well. So because they're small little areas, they're quite easy to colour as well. So I've done my skin tone on these ones, and then I'm going to start choosing some colours. So I want to bring a bit of teal into this, and I find that the BT colours in the illustrators are quite good. So I'm using a BT5 and a BT6, BT5 being the light colour, BT6 being the dark. So I'll just take a bit of scrap there. So that's the 5 and that's the 6. So you can see they are a big difference in the colour. The 6 is darker. So I'm going to start with the light one. And just so you can see it properly, I'm going to do this hat here. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the pen. I'm going to take the tip of the pen, and I'm just going to flick from the edge, make sure I don't go outside. If I do, I'll show you how to sort that out as well. And then I'm going to come towards myself as well. And this doesn't have to be too precise at the moment, so this is using the light colour first. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the dark colour, I'm going to put a little bit along the rim of that cap, and I'm going to flick a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. But I'm going to go right up to the top on that bit, because I want the top bit to be quite dark. And then you can see there's like a lighter area in the middle. So what you then do, you then take the light colour again, which is the BT5, and you go over what you've just done, and you flick from the other side as well. Okay. So it looks like it might be the same colour on the screen at the moment, but as it starts drying, it will blend out a bit. But if you do want to add a little bit of more of a shadow, then you can go for a grey, and I like to use a grey. They are really cute gnomes. I'm just going to put a little bit of grey at the one side here, along the brim of the hat, and at the top. Now you can see that there's more of a shadow there now again. Okay, I'll bring it into view when I can find it. Where is it? There we are. So you can see then there's more of a shadow there. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to take the light colour again, which is the BT5, and I'm going to flick from the edge again, from the dark colour into the middle. And that now will actually be a nice colour, and it looks like it's shaded both sides. Okay, and you can see that the colours actually coming through on the card. Well, that's perfect for alcohol colouring. If it doesn't come through, then you're using something that's either too thick or you're using the wrong stuff to colour with. because it should absorb into the card to stop it from bleeding outside the lines. Okay, so again I'm going to keep using these teals to add a little bit of colour. So I'm going to go in, and I always start with my light colour. Some people prefer to do dark, and just to show you it doesn't matter, I'm going to go in with the dark first. Put where I want my dark colour, just around the edge there and along the bottom. And then I'm going to flick up with my light one over the top. And then you can go back with your dark one again, just to add more shadow in there. But the secret is not to be too fussy, because the more fussy you are, the more it tends to go wrong, and the slower you go, the more alcohol it pulls into the card. So, you know, I try not to be too fussy with it really. Okay, but I'm also going to do the shoes on this one. Yeah, a bit dark at the top. Yeah, the grey is really good idea. It doesn't have to be a dark grey, but it does need to be sort of a mid grey. So I think I was using a BG6, but you can use a nice ice grey 6 as well. And it's just a little bit darker, and because you got the colour there, it actually takes on, the grey takes on the colour you've got already. So I've added some teals into there. I'm just going to use the light one and colour some stripes on this top here as well. So the point on these pens are quite fine as well. Okay, so I've done my teals and I've done my pink. Then I'm going to use some browns. I think we'll do a couple of these hats in brown. So again, I'm using TN4 and TN6. TN4 being the light colour. You just check it on a piece of card. And TN6 there. Okay. So TN4 again. And colouring is a lovely way to relax and forget all your worries and your stresses, because when you go into the zone of colour, the colouring zone, it is nice. And with everything that's going on at the moment, colouring is a good way of giving yourself a little bit of time to yourself as well, really. So just going across from side to side, from the dark to the light, just joining up again. Now I've got a nice little shadow on that one there. I think you can see that. Yeah, so you can see it's light in the middle and then darker around the edge. You can see now the teal, it's actually drying out as well, so it's lighter in the middle, darker on the outer edge, which makes it look like it's more curvy. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on doing that a bit. I'm not going to colour everything on this. I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to let you suffer for too long watching me colouring. Just want to give you a few little tips, that's all, because I want to colour this beard in a minute and I want to show you that as well. A couple of them got some different hair. I'm just tapping the tip of the pen around by the edge of the beard. Right. So let's that bit. So I've got brown there, brown there. Let's make this guy's shoes brown there. And we'll do this guy's beard in brown as well. So when I do the beard, I like to go in with the pointy end of my pen. I like to just draw some little lines down the beard and then in different areas from the bottom, so leaving all sorts of different lines in there. And I'll bring that up to show you. So just leave my camera come up so you can see the brown lines are in the beard there. And then what I'm going to do is take, so that was the dark colour brown, I'm going to take the light colour brown and just flick upwards and then flick downwards like that. And then when I lift that up to you, you can actually see that the two tones of brown are in there, and if there is a little bit of white in it, it doesn't really matter. It just adds to the light source it in different parts of the air. Okay. So I think there's enough brown in those pieces. So we'll leave that to the side. I'm going to use some purples, and we'll add some purples into this lovely girl here. So I got a PL2 and a PL4. So obviously if you've got a tri-blend pen, it's got 3 different colours in. It's got a light, a medium and a dark of the same colour. So you just need one pen to do all your purples. I've just got all the bigger pens. So again, I'm going with a light colour. Just colouring along, just infill that area, and take in the dark one, just around the edges, underneath the braided hair, down the side of the braided hair, and just along the bottom there, and then a little bit of shadow under the buttons as well. So you can see that there as well. And it looks a bit of a mess at the moment because it looks like you just got a light colour and a dark colour together with really sharp lines. But then when I go back in with the light one again, and I flick from over the dark one into the light area again, I'm actually going over the dark area, and then if I just go in a little circle just around the very edge where they both meet, little circle, just move the pen a bit more. Just do that until you're happy with the blend that you have. And then when you lift that up, you can actually see that the harsh lines of the dark is sort of starting to go, and once that dries out as well, once the alcohol has evaporated, they'll be more blended in as well. Okay, but I'm going to add a little bit of purple elsewhere as well, so I think we'll go for the hat over here. Like I said, I'm not going to let you spend a long time watching me doing this, just want to give you the ideas. Going with the dark and then going with the light over the top, and then you get that sort of nice little balance of colour. And this one's got a little top on underneath this thing, so what we'll do, we'll just add a little bit of purple into there as well, just going to do the dark purple straight in. There we are. So to do a black beard on this little one here, I could go in with my black pen. I could go in with my black Spectrum Noir alcohol pen, but then it's going to be a really thick line, and I don't really want to do that. I want them to keep sort of the haze. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a fine line micron pen, which does nice fine lines like that, and where his beard is, where it's all, I'll bring that up on a block and show you. Where his beard is all quite fuzzy, so it's just lines. I just want to fill it in a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, over his beard, where his beard is, I'm just going to go over with extra lines like that until it fills it in and just leaves little white areas in there as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do over the top of his beard. What it does, it sort of fills the area, but it means it's still going to have the texture of the hair, and it means I can make the hairs as long as I want. And if I do little tiny hairs at the top just under the nose, then it means it becomes darker under the nose, which means it looks like a shadow. From the nose. There we are. And then when I bring that up to you, then you can see his beard looks a lot darker. He's got more of a shadow under his nose, but he's actually coloured in black. Okay. So that's how I do the black for the fine beards like that. So I'm now going to do a bit of a blonde beard as well. So again, I'm using OR1, and I'm mixing up families of colours now. So the letters represent a colour. So usually you would use, if I'm using a GB4, I would use a GB1, but I'm using OR1 and a GB4. So the GB4 is my yellow, and then the OR1 is an orange. Just so the blonde isn't too yellow. And I'm going with the darker one this time. I want to have a bit of a browny blonde beard. And I'm going to go in with a yellow. Just flicking down. He's got a nice blondie yellow beard, and we'll give the girl a bit of blonde hair as well. And then I'm actually going to take some of this colour and just colour in. So this is the dark colour. The light colour. I'm just going to do that on the stripes as well. Just literally just colouring in. He's got a nice little outfit on of yellow. So they are really cute. So that is that bit. Just going to take some blues as well. So I'm using TBs, TB4 True Blues. Just going to add a bit more colour in, and then I'll show you how I come to finishing the card. And we'll start putting the card together, because I can colour this after I've done the card. And then, also these, with most pens, it's actually, if it's a single pen, single colour pen, they'll have some sort of indicator of where the fine tip is. So here there's no grey line, here there is a grey line, so that proves that when I pull that side, it's got the fine tip. And you'll find there's quite a few pens, alcohol pens, that have got that sort of mechanism to it really, so you know which side to open, so you don't get yourself annoyed all the time. So what I'm doing is trying to take some of the colour and put them in different places throughout the image. So I've got blue there, I've got a little bit of blue there, and I'm now going to come across and do a bit of blue in. That's the same mat as that, so I don't want to do that blue. So I think what I'll do, I'll take this blue somewhere over here onto these three when I come to doing that one. Okay. But the other thing I wanted to show you as well, even though this is all colouring, and I can use reds, greens, browns, you just need colours to colour up. You can stick with a couple of colours, don't have to colour them if you don't want. But what I need to do, I need to ground them so it looks like they're on the floor or standing on something, because at the moment they're just floating figures. So what I'm going to do, and I will bring in that piece at the moment so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just take a bit of scrap paper, which is the one I stamped on earlier. I'm going to come across like that. So I got my base here, and I'm going to pick a ground colour. So I think I'm going to go for the brown grey 6, BG6. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to make a line, so I'm using the paper as my guidelines. Okay, in between them. So I'm just colouring down a little bit so I don't forget where they are. And then in there, and towards the end here, I've got this bit as well. Okay. So now I know exactly where my ground is going to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that pen, because there's only a small space around the back of there, around the images, I'm just going to go with this. So this is a light colour as well. I could use the wide tip and go in, and then I'm going to coat that a lot quicker. But then you've got to be careful around the figures because it's got a chisel tip. So that's why I like to go in with the smaller one. Colouring that along, around that, just going in between the figures. I just want to show you different parts that you need to do without filling it all in really. Okay, so that is now my floor, but that's looking a bit rough because I've gone with a finer pen. So I'm going to take, so that was a BG6, I'm going to take a darker colour, take the fine pen off, and where they're standing, it's actually make a shadow underneath them. And I'll just do the one side and show you the difference as well then. So I'll just come up to this person here and do him. Okay. So at the moment you can really see the difference between the colours, but then when I go back in with my light colour, if I go over this again, because it's still a light colour, because I'm going over the edge of the dark one, it makes the shadow a lot more softer, but I'm also filling in the background again, which means that's going to look softer and cleaner as well. Yeah, so if I show you that now, go back over the light bit. So when I show you the two separate halves now, you can see that where they're actually standing, like that, they've got a nice little shadow underneath them. And then this side it looks just quite plain, whereas on that side they've got that nice little shadow underneath them, which sort of grounds them and makes the image look more 3D. And I know a lot of people know how to colour, so that's why I'm not going to continue to colour everything. I'll leave that to your devices. I'm just going to come across there so I can match that, because it sort of joins up. I don't want to have too much of a borderline and a gap between them. So I'm just going to go like that, finish that up. Okay, so that's my floor finished. So that's my ground. That was a bit for the inside of the card, but I'm going to turn that over so that it's okay. So the colouring of these gnomes I will do a little bit later to finish it off, and then I can post this one back on after as well. But I want to show you, because you don't want to sit there watching me doing that all day. It does make a big difference. That just that little bit of shadowing makes a big difference. Okay, so what's going to happen is that's going to go on there. That's going to go on there with foam pads, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the rest of it. So I'm going to bring that there. So I have a little sentiment area there, which I am going to bring in, bring that in. I'll bring my set of stamps in. So I'm actually using a happy birthday mix and match. So basically you got happy birthday and then you got little verses that go with, so you can do happy birthday, today is all about you, and stuff like that. But I think we're out of the happy birthday ones, but there are all sorts of other ones there. And for $5.99 they are a really, really good price. They are a really good price on them. So you can see you get quite a bit. So on all of these sets you'll always get sort of the big letters being happy birthday, get well, you know, new baby, whatever it is, and then you get the extra little bits like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do on there is put my happy birthday, or shall I do something else? Ooh, make a wish. Yeah, I'm going to put I'm going to put Make a Wish on there. Make a wish. And I hope you didn't get my head in there then. Don't think you did. I think you're okay. So that's Make a Wish. And then if you remember, we also got so that's for that up there. But if you remember, we also got a piece that's going to go inside. So this is where the verse is going to be. So the thing with this set is there's a happy birthday, and then you can put today is all about you, happy birthday, celebrate and stay, happy birthday, may all your wishes come true, and so on and so on and so on. So it's like a verse builder then, really. Happy birthday, hope your birthday is as fabulous as you are. Make all your wishes come true. Make a wish. Happy birthday, may all your wishes come true. There we are. So what I'm going to do is place may all your wishes come true there on that one. So that's there. And then I'm going to take the happy birthday, which is 2 separate stamps, so I can put them underneath each other. Happy birthday. I'm just going to check that. Happy birthday. May all your wishes come true. So you can just see all the sentiment is there. And they all look quite straight to me, so I'm going to ink that up and stamp that. So I'm a competent stamper, but if I wasn't, then I would use my press to impress, and on bigger images I do tend to, but I'm just going to go freehand today. Ooh, scary. Happy birthday, may all your wishes come true. I'm just going to place that down, and I'm going to put pressure in the centre of where the writing is. Just put a bit of pressure down and lift that up, and now you can see there's my little verse. Happy birthday, may all your wishes come true. Look at that. I did miss the top of happy. You can see that's still on the stamp. So what I would do with that is take my fine line pen that I used earlier, and just fill in that. So I've just done the top part of the happy instead of trying to go back in with my stamp and getting the double image. So I've actually got that there now. Okay, so that's that. Now I had 2 little gnomes earlier on that I actually stamped, and really I think I'm going to stick with just 2, but I need to colour them up, so I'm just going to quickly do that with my scrap bit of paper underneath them. And I only need to colour the hat and just a little bit of the head bit. Okay, so I'm going to go with a bit of teal for the hat. So I'll just go in. So once you're used to colouring, you'll know where to put your dark colour first or second, whichever way you prefer to go. And then when you're confident, you'll know not to worry too much about it, and then you'll get great results really, really quickly. Marvellous. Okay, and in fact I'm going to do this one as well in teal. like I said, I don't want you having to watch me colour a lot. You've got enough to do. Okay. So I went with the light one on that one first, then the dark, then the light one again. On that one I did the dark one around the edge and just went with the light. And then I do the noses. And then I'm going to do the blonde hair on the girl. And just in case we do get to see a little bit of that body underneath, because she hasn't got a big long beard, I'm just going to colour a little bit of purple there. Just in cases. Okay, and then with this one I'm actually going to make a black beard. So like I said earlier on, if you want to do them black, I did little curls on this one. This one's got more straight lines, so I'm just going closer at the top and flicking down to make it darker under the nose, so he's got more of a shadow. You just make it like your little lines. You make him darker, and the little light white bits you see on it then actually look like the light source. On the beard. So now I asked at the beginning, but how is everybody? How is everybody holding up with the new rules and guidelines? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut these out. So I'm just cutting roughly around them. Not worried about the hair so much. Around the hat. Notice I hold the scissors in place and just move my paper around like that. I find that's the easiest way to cut. And then when I come around to doing the final areas there, just grab my paper underneath and I'm just cutting it like so. I'm not worried about the feet because I know they're not going to be in there. So I'll just cut in like that. And the girl then, I know her body's not going to show. But I'm going to leave part of the body on there because I'll need an area to put some glue. So cut that off. So I'm just going around the hat. I'm just going to cut around the body like that, and then that's my two little images like that. Okay. Oh dear, that's terrible news, Jenny. Sorry to hear that. It's a shame. It's happening a lot, isn't it, around people are losing their jobs because of the COVID and stuff like that. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have that little man coming out from underneath that circle there, and then this little lady here, I think I'm going to have her coming out from up there, so she's looking down on everybody, making sure they're working hard. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So true, but it's still not nice, Jenny, is it? A lot of people are a lot worse off. I suppose at least we've all, as long as we got our health, we have to be happy, I suppose, with everything that's going on. But yes, so what I'm doing now with the inner sentiment piece, just putting my all-purpose colour on, coming close to the corners there, but because they're really pointy, they'll have a tendency to lift. So I'm just dragging my finger with the glue just over the points. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put him down in the corner there, so you can see him there, and then I'm going to pop this over the top. So that he's on there, those corners will stick down, and then when I'm happy that that is on, I can actually put my high-tack glue. Just going to find the nozzle. Just going to do that. Just put a little bit of glue on the back of that, and then I'm going to push him in and just make sure he stays where he should be. So that is for the inside of my card, which I shall put in now. Oh good, glad you're making Christmas cards, because we've only got 5 weeks Fridays, so we have to make sure. Sorry, I had to say that. Couldn't resist. You know me and counting down Christmas. So all I'm doing is just pushing that in, making sure it's centre, and then pushing it down. So there's my nice little gnome sticking out of the gap in the corner. So I can close this card up. The matten layer, the first matten layer for the front, I'm actually going to put on with all-purpose collal. I could use my high-tack because it's a thicker bit of card I'm sticking down, so it won't show any marks at all where the glue's gone down. So that's that one. And then on this piece, I'm actually going to put some foam pads on the back. So I'm just going to put one on each top there. I'm just going to go around and make sure that I get no sagging my foam pads. So I usually buy a big roll of foam pads, and our suppliers have actually said they're not going to be getting them in till sort of, I think, I'm not sure if it was the end of this month or beginning of next month. So for those who are waiting for the rolls of foam pads to come in, they're not going to be with our supplier until late this month, early next month, I think it was. We placed the order for them, and then they told us they were out of stock. So that's all I'm doing, is taking all the back ends off these foam pads. Going to hover over the card so I can move it back and forth if I want. Again, nice and square, and that's in there. I'm going to stick this down because I can colour the rest of these while it's still on the card. Just to give you the idea. So the card is quite quick to make, it's just the fact that you've got the colour in, which takes the time. Oh yes. So let me see more of that comment. So I'm Sarah with a Sarah. My son is counting down the days to when his elves arrive. First we have to think of 24 ways that they can get up to mischief. So this is going to be my composition on the front. Obviously I'll finish colouring these off in a little bit. But I'm now going to put this together as well. So I know where the girls go in. So I'm just going to lift her. I know, and I still get confused between Sarah and Sarah. Even though I've got a cousin called Sarah. I know. Just can't educate me. I still can't remember now. So what I've done, I've just stuck the little female gnome on here underneath this sentiment. Put the sentiment on flat. I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to put some foam pads on that. A little bit in there. Not worried about the centre because there's enough around the edge there. It's not a massive piece. And then what we need to do then, so that I can see this closer without sticking my head. Oh dear, that probably wasn't good. 5 glasses, go, crikey. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place that down. I'm just going to make sure that it's in line with the top. So that is going across there. Up a little bit. And that's it. So I then push that down when I'm happy. Can push that half down as well. So that is the card for today. Like I said, I'm not going to continually just colour and colour and colour, but I'll explain what I did again. So that's there, and then I have him little elf in the front, in the inside there as well, with a nice little sentiment, plenty of room to write a message in there. So the first thing I done was taken a 4-piece card and folded it in half, so scored it 15 to make a tent card which stands up like a tent. And then the inner part I cut to a colour piece to 14 by 20 and a half, and then the piece inside there, the white piece, was 13 by 19 and a half, and then I just cut a corner out and placed an elf in there. Thank you, Judith, glad you enjoyed it. Then what I did on the front, I cut a piece of the lighter colour teal to 14.5 centimetres by 20.5. I took the dark teal and cut that to 13.5 by 19.5, and then the white piece I cut to 13 by 19, and then I took the 4 dies, started with my white sheet, cut the biggest one out of the top of there, then took the darker teal and took the next die down, placed it over the white on the top and made sure that was central. Then I cut the next 2 dies, the next one out of the dark teal again, and then the white one out of there, and then just took 0.5 centimetre off the top of that white to give me that sentiment up the top. Okay, so literally that is my Gnome-licious card. So I hope you enjoyed that. Because I thoroughly enjoy doing this card, and as you can see it's a little bit different. I sat this one on a hat, and with this one she stood on his head, he's balancing on 2 of their hats, and then I got 2 poking out from the sentiment. No problem, glad you all enjoyed it. So like we always say, thank you for supporting us and support your local shops. That's how you're going to keep them open through everything that's going on at the moment. Thank you for watching our demos today, and I'll probably see you a bit later, Donna, to post your delivery up to you. I won't be able to come in though, but and then these will be available on our Facebook, and they will also be available to watch on YouTube as well. But please don't forget, share this video if you haven't already, and get people following Valleycraft and the lives. So thank you again, everybody. Glad you enjoyed it, because I surely did, and we'll see you again soon. Bye everyone. Bye.